My daughter and I had her photograph taken with you yesterday. She was so
Now-
excited. I said, "Did you tell me my daughter was?" She
Now
said,
the average,
"No, I was
the
too
average
scared."
heartbeat has
She
dropped
was
in
so
this thing
excited.
because Kate has arrived. This is so low. It's brought all of us down.
Bruce says our average heart rate is just
In
dropped
this
because
group.
Gerda's just walked in.
Hers is 20, you know, so she's dropped. Oh, she didn't like me calling her Porky. You know, because they're so skinny. They're not.
I think so. It just
Must be
popped
Bruce.
out.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so
I'm
much.
going to sit here and hold this in my hand. My
We'll have
fingers
to
are
get it
numb.
out of her whether
your
she's
fingers are
running or
numb.
not.
My fingers are numb.
Oh, you're an angel.
Oh, wow, thank you so
My
much.
knees always get cold.
Yeah,
get
thank
smaller
you
to
so
get
much.
out.
You are
No, it's
long
actually
time
really good.
ago.
Because
I
mine
don't
is
get
so much.
It
I
gets,
saw
it
it
gets
and I was
swollen.
like,
I was going to wear corduroy pants
Fine, it's
and
perfect.
or other thicker pants. But then
yeah,
it's been
swollen. For now, it's just 10 minutes, but I can't hear anybody anymore now.
Well,
But Bruce, the friends,
Because the thing is, I know that guy. I could see him in conference.
and he's going to be
but you
out there
don't
the
know
whole
him,
day.
but you can picture
It's
it.
gonna cost
Yes,
us 5 minutes.
exactly. Bruce, we were just saying, the first time you told me
done
that
that for
story,
the
and
year
Cadella,
of,
it was a 30-second story.
Not
Yeah,
for
yeah.
thirty- not for 30K.
And there were no Springboks, there were
No,
no
they're all
wildebeest. Now it's a 10 minutes.
No, but if
That's
I
a
did the
30K
full one,
story.
I'd take you right back to the beginning where he
no.
works as a stevedore.
Mm.
He lives in Grimsby. In
no,
Grimsby. Yeah, and so that's his only light in all that darkness and rain is running. And his whole dream was to run Comrades. So he ran his sub 3 hour at Bognor Regis Parkrun marathon in the pissing rain.
The
And
best
then,
part of that story too is
and then he came out.
the different animals.
And then
You can identify with all these
the animal, boom, boom, boom.
I can just see it happen.
run.
Stand by.
I was in H batch, my first run.
Oh, wow.
Were you H? So you know, so you're an
You were the
elephant.
smallest guy.
The hated one.
You were
I
the,
was
H for
H
hated.
batch.
oh, wow. You were the smallest one there. Yeah.
Were you H batch?
First
Or
run.
the Olifanta?
The hated ones. H.
H. Yeah. So so if you really extend the story, it's that you have to first of all build up his life in England. And how
Camera. Camera roll. The camera's rolling. Okay, speed. Sound. Okay, shot one, take 3.
Yes.
You still see Fritz, Bruce?
I don't know.
5, 4,
Occasionally.
3,
Parkrun.
2, 1.
Now it's time to have a bit of a debate and talk about the most consistent. When it comes to the Comrades Marathon, consistency is very important. And Cheryl, let's start with you. Of course, you are a past winner. Consistency is very key. But when it comes, yeah?
Standing by.
We'll go.
Cheryl, does
Okay.
Rowan
No, I
have
thought we
runs?
were talking about it first and then go to you.
He ran a silver.
What?
He used to be lean and mean.
Who?
Rowan.
Rowan.
Did
Ran
he get a
silver.
silver?
He
I know
got
he'd
a
run Comrades.
silver.
When
Wow.
was this?
A
Right
long
now,
time
he's-
ago.
right now, 2 laps of Rowan is a good training run. It's
Well,
a long
exactly.
time to get around
Do you
2.
remember Tommy Malone used to want to organise a race that was going to be 3 times around what he could?
Yes.
Long distance race.
An ultra marathon 3 times around what he
No,
could.
no, it's fine. So, which one are we going with? Anyone?
No, we missed Tommy. Yeah. And,
You know, I really
and
like-
Marnie, actually.
Dixon, what's his name?
Dave
Such
Dixon.
characters. And
He's
they used to
Which
tease
one
each
do
Good
you
other
prefer
value.
for
so
you?
Yeah, he's a
wonderfully
good guy.
because
He's so much fun.
The
Okay, we go.
happiest
Have
thing
you-
about it
you've
is they
taken over
both
from
won
him?
one, and they both
No,
came
I
second
took
to each
over
other.
Before me was MacDonald teacher.
Oh,
Do you know
I miss
MacDonald?
Pete. Oh, Captain, my
MacDonald
captain.
was our
You know,
first
when I
black
broke
chairman.
through
Okay.
Yeah.
to first know that I
Yeah.
could win, I was third when Pete won.
Five,
chairperson now, right?
4,
Pardon?
3,
Finish now.
2, 1. It's time to debate the hot topic. Who is the most consistent when it comes to the Comrades Marathon? Cheryl, let's start with you. I mean, you've won it before. When it comes to consistency,
Well, of course, we have the two that have run 47 Comrades marathons. I mean, that's something. That's Barry Holland and Louis Massain. They've run 47 Comrades marathons. And then Sean Mickledon. I mean, he has an amazing, and not only in terms of longevity, but I mean, every single one of his comrades has been under 7.5 hours. That's phenomenal, you know. And then, of course, Bruce mentioned Elena Nogueira, that, you know, 12, was it 12? In 12 positions in the top 3 or more?
13.
13
in the top 3.
and 8 wins. I mean,
Yeah.
I think those are really the prime examples of sheer consistency, year in, year out. Yeah.
Yeah, and consistency definitely does breed success, doesn't it, Trish?
I think so. Yeah, definitely, indeed. I mean, I just think of Clive running his 40th Comrades, when he ran his 40th Comrades in 1998. I couldn't believe anybody would be continually wanting to do this. But, and to do 40 times, never mind that he went on to do 42 times, but yes, but it became consistency within his whole life. Clive's birthday run, he ran his years. So it becomes the whole thing. It's consistency, yes. So I suppose it just evolved into the Comrades. And eventually you just run out of legs maybe, and then they stop, yeah. But it never stops in terms of the mind of what you're going to continue with, yeah.
Bruce, your qualms and consistency with the Comrades Marathon, who's the best at this?
Yeah, I think Cheryl's summed it up. I mean, there's Louis Massain and Barry Holland, both on 47, both waiting for the other one to die so that they can be alone with the most number. So they can be alone with the most number. No, they're always asking each other their health. How are you? No, they.
Is
I
this
think
consecutive?
Yeah, consecutive.
Both are consecutive.
Yeah, Clive, Kenny Craig, you know, those all the runners who did more than 40. Vic Boston. I don't like praising him too much because he'll think that I'm getting soft, but Alan Robb, he's in his 40s, and you know his consistency, the most gold medals of the men anyway, Alan. And there's probably somebody now that we've hardly noticed because they've only done 15, but in a century's time they'll still be finishing. So we don't know who those people are. And then you have to remember that Comrades doesn't stand in isolation. It's not just Comrades. So if you are Louis Massain or Barry Holland and you've done 47 Comrades, you've done 40 plus 2 Oceans, the old Corky Marathon, the Millie Marathon, dozens and dozens of races that are part of the build-up to be ready for Comrades. Those people are multiple green and blue and whatever numbers in dozens of races all over the place. So, yeah, those are the real consistent heroes.
Continuing that conversation, we caught up with a Bob Delamar just to find out about consistency.
We've had winners who have made extraordinary contributions, but guys like Sean Micklejohn, who he won once in a pretty modest time. I mean, it wasn't a supersonic time, but he's run like 30 silver medals. I mean, this guy is the most consistent, amiable, extraordinary ambassador for Comrades. So to me, he's a super elite athlete and one of the most amazing Comrades runners of all time, but he only won it once.
Cutting
holding it like
time,
this as
playing
well.
a
My
little
fingers
bit,
are numb.
and then, you know.
Are we still live?
No, he's
No,
about to.
Consistency. 3 second places in a row.
Okay.
That's
Okay, Martin.
That's
gonna say it.
consistency. No, that's pitching.
So you're finishing the
can't say that.
insert,
And
right?
consistently to the same guy.
Really?
Yeah, to me.
Second one, take 4.
They're not the best of mates.
No, we're not in love with each
They're
other.
not the
Is
best.
it?
No,
No.
they're not. They're not
Doesn't
mates.
like me.
Wow.
I tried to like him, but he doesn't like me.
He's a little bit hard to like. He's a little bit hard to like.
2, you're going to cue the Bob insert again. You're not playing it. Okay. Okay.
That's the first person I've heard who doesn't like you.
I know.
Kabelo, you know, you've finished the race 12 times. Consistency is very key. In those experiences, especially with the varying times, what have your experiences been?
You know, when the word consistency comes up and we talk about these people who've run for 47 times.
Some audio outside, can you just stand by?
The radio. The radio.
It's somebody's radio outside. The worst
Hold
thing is
that
when
thought.
they show this program, you won't want to watch because you can't stand seeing yourself. It's fine watching all the others, but when you come on, you go, oh, is that me?
I can't listen to my voice
No, I also can't.
at all.
And you know, to get better, you actually have to get over that so you can actually constructively criticize
Yes,
yourself.
yes, yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to.
And I also, like, whenever I hear my voice, I'm like, oh, shut that oak down, please.
Okay, shot one, take 5.
Huh?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Listening to Bob, he speaks about consistency, and this is something that's key to yourself as well, because varying times after 12 comrades, but how is consistency pertaining to you, Kabelo?
So when I hear the word consistency, and I hear of all these great, you know, men and women who've run, you know, these great number of races, you know, I can't help but think how we potentially use Comrades Marathon to be this anchor in our lives, you know, and I'm willing to bet that's why we keep coming back, because there's a certain structure. It actually helps you create around your life, you know. That's why I'm, you know, quite, I'm moved a bit off center with the race being in August, to be really honest, you know, because June, my life worked a certain way, you know. And I think that's why we keep coming back. The race adds structure, instills those principles I spoke about, you know, in terms of, you know, perseverance, endurance, and the like. My varying times have, I've always wanted to do better, you know. I ran my fastest the last time I ran in 2019.
Yeah.
I dipped under 8 hours, and I'm still gunning for a silver. And Bruce says he's got, yeah, Bruce, I bought Bruce's book. He says it will help me run a silver. So that's still a dream. But yeah, my varying times have just been me wanting to get better every single year, just applying myself, you know, because I've seen how those principles also translate into my own life, you know, because we want to get better at everything that we do, you know.
I like that the fact that you're mentioning discipline, camaraderie, and really something that you have to do. Trish, I'm so going to take you up on that day.
Hey, she's running, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to be there with a big bouquet of flowers for you. I promise you.
Definitely inspiring to run. So everybody, you have the opportunity to invite 4 people, dead or alive. Now, who would those people be that you invite to the dinner or the bride, Trish?
Wow.
Comrades runners.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
definitely if you say, yeah, some close friends who are no longer with us, but I do know that on the day they are normally there watching. And I would invite certainly Clive, certainly Mick Wynn. I knew Mick Wynn for such a long time and such a wonderful person involved with Comrades. Certainly Pete Foster.
Pete, yeah.
And then I think I would, can I have, you say 4? I'm going to ask 5. I'm going to take Kabela because he's going to make it fun, and Bruce, because Bruce certainly will keep the laughter and the long stories going, and he loves red wine. Okay, so that's how I'm going to Thank you.
Cheryl?
Okay, well, present company excluded. Yeah. Tommy Malone and Marnie Cohen. Because they were the two, you'll remember that very close finish where Tommy Malone tripped a meter before the line and was beaten by Marnie Cohen in 1967, was it? 67, yeah. And they developed a lifelong friendship, but they teased each other throughout their lives. Yeah. At one stage, Tommy Malone said he wanted to organize a new ultramarathon. It was going to be 3 laps around Marnie Cohen. Because Marnie Cohen had become somewhat portly in his later years. So they had the most delightful sense of humor, and they would certainly make it fun. And then I would really want to invite some of the great women runners. I'd love to get Frith van der Merwe and Gerda Steyn, and if I could also have 5, I'd also like to have Isabel Roche-Kelly, because she was the first to run a sub 7. Yeah, so I think it would be great just to hear what these women have to share.
Kabelo, you copped an invite, but who would you invite?
Definitely Bruce and Nick. Bruce and Nick. I think Caroline. Caroline was such a breath of fresh air, you know, when she came, because she kind of she finally put on to the world stage what I've been telling everybody, that running and walking actually does work, you know. So Bruce, Nick, Caroline. And who else? I think I'm going to have to go with Frith.
Frith?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Frith.
Brucey?
Well, yeah, I've kind of run out of people because they've all been...
They're all at our dinners.
I would like the guest of honor to be Vic Clapham. And say, Vic, you had no idea what you created, because I think, unfortunately, he died before it really became Comrades as we know it. You know, in his day, it was exclusively a white male race with only a few nutters running it, you know. So just Vic Clapham to be, I think he might have been quite boring. I'm not sure, you know, but it was like, but very staid and set in his way, and this is the race I'm going to create. So just to show him, this is what you created. Without a doubt, Isabel Roche-Kelly. We were students together at rival universities. Mine was far more important than her university, but we just, she's really desperately missed, and I think I would love to surprise her by saying, do you know there's a medal named after you? There's a medal called the Isabel Roche-Kelly medal, and she's a party animal, so she would be great.
Are we allowed 4 or 5? Is it 4? Because I've just thought of one more person.
Yeah, I would, yeah, Pete Forster. I miss Pete. For me, it was when Pete won, it was for me a breakthrough year. So I'm speaking selfishly. Pete won, I was 3rd, and that was the time that I realized I could maybe win. And Pete was just a genius of a runner, because he came in between two, and I don't like to use the word, but 2 dominant runners, myself and Alan Robb, and and Johnny Halberstadt, who without a doubt is one of the greatest distance runners of all distances in South Africa, and he beat all of us. And people could say, oh, it was a fluke year. It wasn't. He broke the record. And he was just such a modest, great guy. And I visited him in hospital when he was on his last legs, and I didn't have to ask which door was his ward, because he had a photograph of himself winning Comrades on the door.
Oh, beautiful.
And that was just fantastic. And all he did was talk about Comrades. And then I can't really think.
I want to add Sam Shabalala. The first black winner. Was it 1989?
Yeah, it was.
Was it 1989, Bruce?
89, yeah. Sam.
In a very tumultuous South Africa. I remember that being a very, very significant moment. You know, we all loved Bruce. And I think one other thing, Bruce, that endeared you, I feel, you know, to black South Africa was the year you ran with a black armband. And you kind of stood up to the Nats, you know, in support of the black community. And then years later, Sam winning.
That's fantastic.
You know, Sam winning was like it was almost like an alien, you know, and here was this guy who obliterated the field. and he did it. So I definitely invite Sam to tell us. I mean, what kind of mental fortitude do you need to have when you're living in a country that doesn't particularly celebrate you in a predominantly white race and then going to win? I mean, that's to bottle that kind of mental fortitude.
And so lauded, hey?
I mean, yeah, I think we forget, you know, we quickly forget about those guys who move the needle, you know, inspired other black runners, you know, to run and perform.
You know, you're speaking about a time when...
That is my Uber.
Pause.
Do you love
I ordered quite, no, I've never used them.
So, Lutando, you'd said 5 minutes, so that's why I'd, yeah. Okay.
Excuse me.
You know, when Sam won, you know who was second?
You.
Willie.
Or was it Willie?
Yeah, Willie's
was
coming
second.
now, so we should remind him. He
Sam
could have been the
passed him
most
in
famous black South African, but Sam took it from him.
Sam passed him in Pinetown.
Passed him in Pinetown.
So, link to Helen, ne?
2, 1, let's go.
Coming off those beautiful stories, the international invasion definitely is something that we have to talk about. Let's cross over to Helen to find out exactly what that meant to Comrades.
There's Wally.
When Alberto Salazar came out to run Comrades, Willie Matoro organised him to go down to the valley, into the Ananda Valley, to meet the local chief and some of the local people. And I was invited to go on that trip down to the valley with him. And it was, for someone like Alberto, who's won New York, going down to the Ananda Valley, and the road then was pretty hectic. Must have been quite an experience. And we were standing sort of out there in this bit of land, and this young lad came out of one of the local huts there, and he had a running magazine with a picture of Alberto Salazar winning the New York Marathon. And he showed it to Alberto, and I looked at it, I couldn't actually believe it, and it was just, it said all these strange thoughts. Here you've got this American international top recognized athlete, you've got this, we're in the middle of nowhere, this valley in South Africa, which is quite hard to get to, and you've got this young African guy comes out, is recognized, this hero, this picture was on this magazine. That to me, when you talk about what is Comrades meant to me, it's been that experience of experiencing that time. And that was just, I still remember, it was phenomenal, and we were just like, how does this happen, Comrades?
Helen, definitely one of the greatest to have ever come through. But when we talk about those great international runners who've come through and participated in the Comrades, who else stands out for you, Trish?
I definitely think the twins, those girls. They were just so consistent, weren't they? Yes, definitely them. But I mean, Helen herself, as we know, is an international. We could even classify.
No, I've been here way too long. I've been here 50 years now.
Cheryl, you know, when it comes to the international invasion, when the internationals did come through, and you were just speaking about 40 years since you first, and 50 years here in South Africa. What is it that draws the internationals to the Comrades, that wants to make them come down to South Africa and participate?
I think it's world-renowned as the ultimate human
Yeah.
race. It is world-renowned as the greatest,
greatest,
most competitive, and I mean the atmosphere and everything else. There is no other ultramarathon in the world. You haven't, you know, you can win the world 100-kilometer championships, but you really are not the greatest ultramarathon runner until you come and run Comrades Marathon. And we had that, the world champion. His name was Nao. Do you remember his name? The Japanese. He had set a world record in the World Championships. Shortly before the 2019 Comrades Marathon. He came out to run the Comrades Marathon and he finished second. But he needed to come and run Comrades to really, really feel that he was on the top of ultramarathon running.
And you know, Bruce, you've probably run everywhere across the planet, just like Trish as well. But there's something very special about the Comrades that makes it a bit different from other ultramarathons across the world.
Yes, and by the way, just on the foreign runners, you know, I've snuck in. I was born in Hong Kong, so we're everywhere. Huh? We're everywhere. Just beware of us. Yeah. So yeah, it's special because it stands. So if you take the pantheon of the great races, the great marathon races of the world, you're talking Boston, New York, London, Chicago, all those races. In amongst that, in the top 10, and in no particular order, Comrades stands in amongst them as the only ultra. And so I've run quite a few ultras, and I've been at quite a few of them, and they're fantastic, and some of them are wonderful. I mean, Cheryl and I have both run the London to Brighton. There you are. That's a brother-sister race, sibling race of Comrades. Starts outside Big Ben and finishes on the beachfront, which is like some pebbles in Brighton, near the pier. But it's just not the same. It just doesn't have the charisma is the word. And some of them are greater challenges. I mean, the Western States 100 is a fantastic race, unbelievable race. But it doesn't have the thousands of spectators. It can't, because of its size, have the capacity of runners, because it's a trail run essentially. The World 100K Champs, great. It's a wonderful title to win. But you'll get the spectators and the people who happen to be in that town where the race is being run that day. And then you'll get 500 of the elite runners, but you won't get the bulk of the field that you get in Comrades. So it's like one of those great city marathons, but it's an ultra. And then it finally sort of almost scoops them all, because it's so rich in tradition, and we've spoken about those traditions, and more traditions and stuff going on in Comrades than in any other race. And then it's 100 years old.
It is 100 years old. And you will not have anyone asking you, it is what it is, especially after your international experience. But the Comrades definitely a bit different, Trish.
Very much so. The organization, from the organization, from the entry into the race, the expo that you go to get your numbers, the race itself. I mean, I helped second in the years when you never had seconding tables. But the way it is now, it is just fantastic. So it's an experience, and no wonder these world-class runners want to come out and do it. Right until the time you get your medal. Wonderful. The whole experience is fantastic.
A beautiful experience it is. You were saying, Bruce?
No, well, I was thinking about, people from around the world who've come to run. I was running a Comrades, not a leading Comrades, and there in front of me I saw this name, foreign running number, but that's a different color. Yuko Aramori, silver medalist in the Olympic Games, bronze medalist in the Olympic Games. Lisa Ondieki, silver medalist in the 1988 Olympic Marathon, said her CV is not complete until she has a Comrades medal. Doesn't have to be a winning one. I think she ran 9 hours. Gordon Ramsay, Hell's Kitchens. People don't know he's run 3 Comrades.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And
those.
it's on his CV.
Yeah, it's on his CV. Right near the front.
Put on your CV. Always.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, Cordon Bleu chef, Comrades Marathon. So and they're just all over. There are people who just say my CV is not complete until I've got a Comrades medal.
That's right.
Oh, well, sitting with you guys makes me feel that I definitely need to add Comrades to my CV. I love the fact that you mentioned Gordon Ramsay, and it goes back to what you're saying about the Comrades Marathon, being able to draw different people from different aspects of life together and different corners of the world, and that's what we see in the Comrades Marathon. It's not just South Africans, it's really everyone from across the world wanting to experience this great race.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to the common denominators we all have with each other across the world, and I think Comrades is a space where we get to share, those commonalities. We have much more in common, than what kind of pulls us apart. And Comrades Marathon is one of those platforms and races that make us realize that, for 12 hours, like we're talking about, everyone at, ground zero. For 12 hours, that day, we get to celebrate each other just as another human being, on a journey, without any of our preconceived notions of each other, titles, and that's what makes it so special.
I'd asked you about who you'd invite for dinner or a braai. I definitely know that I need to get the Comrades Marathon on my CV until then, because we've been waiting for Bruce's lunch the whole day.
All day.
I'm definitely having all of you come through as my guests. Thank you so much, Trish, Cheryl, Gabela, and Bruce. And I think it's time that we can go order lunch. I'll take you out. Red wine for Bruce.
No.
Definitely not today.
No, you don't want me on
All I'm going to
Then
say
there's some
is
stories.
lunch is on me today. And we're definitely going to enjoy it. But I really enjoyed today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Tatu. Thank you.
Thank you. It was
Next
wonderful.
year.
Wonderful. Yes.
Most enjoyable.
You
And
booked.
we look forward to seeing you next year on the start line.
Yes.
Yeah, you,
No, the finish line. The finish line.
now you've dropped yourself.
They're closing again because there was some noise.
Okay, by the way, Gordon Ramsay's language is really interesting towards the end of a comrade.
So what
Are you
year
gonna
did you
finish?
do it?
You did
Are you
too.
going to finish this?
He ran 5. He bailed 2. He dropped out of 2.
It was
So he
my way
finished
of
3.
getting out of here.
Finished 3. He said the toughest thing. I was on
Oh,
the
but we have to
start
do
line
it
of-
again. But
I was on the start line of London Marathon with him,
I really.
and he hates Jamie Oliver. So he says, where's that porky little chef? He said, I've been watching his TV program. He's getting porkier and porkier every week. He should be on the start line, hey, Bruce.
so I'm definitely making sure that you are my invited guest for the braai or the lunch date. Bruce, you're going to get a bottle of wine today. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it today. And lunch is all on me. Let's go.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, Gordon.
Jeez, like.
We're not getting lunch. Not a free lunch.
There's always somebody, isn't there? Just always.
I need another group.
Get to the
Good.
back.
We're good.
Okay, get to the back of the queue.
What are we doing? Finished.
Sweet.
Is it okay?
Lunch.
Thank you.
If you want to grab lunch to go, you are welcome.
Okay,
to
cool.
Well, we're gonna
This is the lunch that I
Bruce's
bought.
We're all waiting for Bruce's
I had mother-in-law's hellfire,
Let me grab my.
Nando's hot, extra
Don't
hot with
fall
extra.
here. Oh, God.
I just want to get warm. That's all I want is to get warm.
We're going to have to be careful we don't leave anything behind there, sure?
No? No, I am. I just want a place to
Bruce,
put
I meant to ask you to bring your new book, you know.
Undress,
Sorry.
undress me. Undress me. Yeah. Your hands are really cold now.
Can you take
Can I
these?
get
'Cause
your
I am
new
going
book?
to change.
My?
Your new book.
You know how you can get it? I can get you one because it's in my bag.
Oh, can you really? How much are they?
No.
Oh, no,
No. Just let me go and get it.
Somebody's going to
interesting.
undress me.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
coming to
I'm
put the
trying to
cold
think I'm
hands up
probably
my
gonna
back?
keep some jeans. It's so cold. I'm going to change the top, yeah. That's how I was thinking, because I'm thinking, what am I keeping, what am I not?
Cheapers.
Is that okay? You guys happy?
Did anyone see a
Good,
bag?
thank you. Thank you. Lovely.
It's just so you know, there was 5,000 rand in it, and if any of that is missing, I'm going to sue. Thank you. Oh, do you need the sound thing?
Oh, can you take
But
mine off?
I'm
Do you want to take
I'm
mine
sta-
off?
I'm staying for the second session.
Oh, okay, I'll keep it on.
Yeah, I'm doing the next one as well. I have to, yeah, apparently.
In the front.
No, Willie Gerda. I'm just going to try and...
And actually just here chatting about things you really like. That's brilliant.
I'm good, man. I don't know if she wants to dump now and then we start a new session. I don't know if he wants to dump the sound cards now and then we start running. Is it 12? Is it 12 past? It's not much. I'm happy to dump at the end of the day. It's shit. End of day.
Oh, end of day.
Yeah.
Space end of day.
Yeah, should be fine. It's another hour, ne? Yeah. Yeah, I've got 4 hours on this card.
Tricia, have you got a pen?
One in my bag somewhere. So
Let me. You can't make anybody laugh, Bob. Oh, a second. Second minute. Second hurts. Is this where our bags are? This is just where our bags are, huh?
The 7 o'clock. Saturday, call time was 5. So, ek is nar.
And as soon as I got past your arm, I saw the clock.
Oh.
And it was only then when I realized
Got the record, yeah,
At
yeah,
least you were not
So
the
I was
guy
doing the
who
TV
told me I
commentary.
wanted to make a
And
conversation.
the TV studio,
them?
well, it's like a
There were these other
container
guys. I was
box
standing there
right
smoking,
near
looking at
the
my phone.
last
I
bit
just
where
walk up
Heather
to him
had
like,
to run to win two
Baba
oceans.
Pamcharapo,
But it was a hell of a race. I mean, it
was
was
on.
an incredible race.
Then
So
they walk
they
up and
weren't
ask
using
me
the
for a
Eagle because
cigarette.
they were using Rene Kalmer to commentate. So I was just standing there and I thought, no, I'm just going to open the door because that's where they run.
I see
They're
your
running right. And I leant out the door. I took a picture of that exact moment. Yeah. I'm supposed to, as a commentator, I'm supposed to be neutral. But by the way, I also stayed there for Yvette. Yeah. When I mean, because I could see she was under the record. So it's very hard to be neutral when you listen to the rugby commentators and they start when our guys are about to score a try.
Come on, girl. Hey, it's game over.
Yeah, I
I've been
know.
wondering to myself, can I get far?
Yeah.
So what's next on you guys' roster?
Okay. Yeah. It's impossible. There are just times when you can't help it. Yeah. Oh. We'll see you down there. We'll see you down there. And I'm going to get hold of you to help us with Route 44.
What ufuna yonke,
Get that
Baba?
park run back. Bye.
Asithi ujizile ishoti zakhe.
Run the OB trucks.
Nomfuna ucela umbambe la? Thank you. Yeah, it's actually on airplane mode.
That's nice. As a
Uthi
black
xa
person,
ifuna
I
ishoti
wanna have
zakhe
a
uthi
good
hayi
time.
you've got them.
No, I know.
What time do you think we'll go to?
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
We'll see
Yeah,
you
I know.
in August.
August, yeah, soon.
Yes. Can we do your change of clothing, please?
Yeah, I'll just take this top off.
And can you just look here what you can decide what you want.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Maybe it's not one of those things. Maybe you're talking to the right person today. I'm joking. I definitely don't run anything at that company.
like a gillet, a black gillet, pink underneath, or I can put.
But I've got two friends who do run OB trucks, and they run them.
We just both of us are blue on the same. Hi, how are you? Fine and you? Good, thank you.
And then with like
So
he's
keep it on.
business is vendor, but then he
Okay.
also is able to.
All right, let me keep it on then.
learn how to use OB trucks, and then now we also mostly use Vision View. I don't. Yeah, but then there are other Mafadia. There are other outside guys. Yeah, I work for them too. That's my other job. I work for the radio station. Hey, Baba, I go to work every day. I go out.
Yaphume Afrikaans yakhe by 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still
I
running
know.
since I was there since day one. So it's been now 3 years, 4 years. I don't even remember. So it's okay. But they are starting to use as super sports other people's OB trucks and not just Vision View.
Okay.
And not just Vision View.
Does he need powder or he's fine? Okay.
That I know. That I first-hand experience, I can tell you it's not easy because I've been using the same for a while, and you have to have a relationship.
Bruce and Tato, excuse me. Oh.
But that's what I'm saying. Nami, I want an OB truck. Yo. The maintenance of your equipment, having to upgrade your equipment. And I'm right.
Or you can make it also.
But hey, also,
Just tell me.
I do want to know. When can I try them now? That will be very.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You can just lift, it's fine. No problem.
Yes, I do. Speak it into existence. Stop it. I do. After today, I'm
It's
gonna.
okay.
Now I'm gonna sit at home and stress about it. I'm like, I said I do. Okay. No?
Is that good? Excellent. No problem.
There's nothing you can do to make Willie good looking, I promise you. It's like a failed
You're jealous.
project.
You're jealous, eh?
So,
Yes, I am.
my hair went all
Yes, I'm
funny
Mike.
because I had to change my top and all that. Yeah, can you just... But yeah. Will you do that?
How long are you back for? I'm already, I'm going to go to see my
Yeah,
parents
maybe whatever
just
you
for
think. Whatever.
2 days and then I'm
Just
out.
so that
Thursday
I look
again.
old, but I look just
In
so
and
that-
out. You know, I live out of my
Look,
bag.
yeah,
pretty much.
I've only got William Toro on this thing, so it's fine.
Auntie, are you well? I'm very well, thanks. Yeah. Oh, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you.
One of those at the back.
Okay.
That's like
Yeah.
and then Baba.
You can grab one from there, one.
So
you're doing comrades this year?
It is my first one indeed. Yeah. Very excited.
Very excited,
Very
huh?
nervous. How's the training? Training is...
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
wow.
Sorry.
I remember partying, like when I'm walking, I'm like,
Willie, you see the blue and yellow one there? The blue and yellow
oh,
medal.
and the bottom.
Yellow medal.
That's Boston.
Yellow is for ladies, eh? So you have
Blue and yellow one is Boston.
In fact, there was 1 year we came to
Out the way. So out the way quite early.
Thank you, you're a star.
then
Thank
Train
you.
after that.
Thanks.
the car rolled, we all got out and left it.
Yeah, comrades is hard, eh?
Carfax.
Not,
So I'm not putting pressure, but great
So,
comrades champions win in both
personally, coming from Victoria,
he's feathering his cap.
directions. You can only win one. An up is great,
Okay.
but a down is nice as well.
I hear you, Bruce. I see you.
No, man. But you see how I didn't mention it at the first place.
But for ladies it's not tough, eh? Bruce,
Huh?
ladies competition is not tough like men's, eh?
I don't know if it is tough.
Bruce,
You see that too?
have you seen my back kick?
Oh, I was
Yeah.
really
Change
forward.
seats.
Oh.
I just took
really
my
nice.
jersey, which was on the outside, it's now on the inside.
Is it?
Yeah.
In case?
Yeah, he's got to
So
just do
look what
this.
He just needs to fix his mic. Because
When
he's
I
not
am
taking
like,
off his jacket
No,
yet.
that's a
okay,
change
I'm
because
thinking,
I've
yo,
done
finally
the
in my
first
life I can get some street cred.
But I'm
I'm
done
gonna
to
go
take my
home now.
jersey off. So I just
cold,
moved my
yeah.
jersey on the inside. Sorry,
So
I
now when
moved
I'm
it.
older, I'm getting my street cred back, bruh. Like, what's up with your ba? Mami load, get some mami load, get up like easy, mami load, it's like that.
Yeah, no,
So mami load.
but actually, I mean,
No, man, whatever.
Tolo, are they still sealing your goats?
Not so far.
I remember you were complaining. They always,
I went to Sangoma.
yeah, and they sorted them.
Yeah.
No, but no.
I've got mugs here. Why don't you just grab yourself a mug and go get yourself a coffee or water or anything, because we're going to be talking
Willie was always
an hour and a
complaining
half.
about stealing his goats.
So,
And funny enough, we got banned from mainland at some point in time because Colo because we
He sends
did
around the impetus.
It was sommer vinnig, hè? Yes,
Yeah, that's
sir.
fine, I think. Huh? Yeah, is that okay? Well, I can close it. No. Okay, yeah. If you're happy, then I'm happy.
koffie of water of juice of iets.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay,
maar-
ek sal
ah,
gou 'n
eh.
nuwe koffie gaan
Ah,
bou.
eh, maar at the end of the day, was it with any titi? Kososh.
Okay.
Yeah. Go I. Yeah. That's why I got my street cred back.
Great,
My mom
thanks.
used to
Let
work
me not
for
step
the-
on your
like,
cables.
her whole life.
Yeah.
Like only TNG.
Is this your
So,
first
Kososh
one?
I-
Yes.
You've done one.
No, Mr. No.
Are you a novice?
I'm a novice.
Sorry, I'll
Did you hear what?
Oh,
I don't know
oh,
if you heard
such
what
bad
they said.
flu.
It's the last thing I want right now.
Guys, in there.
Is it in here?
Yes.
I lost my way here for a second.
Like,
It's here. Ah, you
Let's bank
remember
the
when
first one first.
Yeah, bank the first one.
No, it's
you
not
said
verbs,
it's the
right?
greatest adventure
Yo, it's so
ever.
cold.
No,
eh?
what a
And by the way, if you did get
much
sick
colder
now,
than
It's
Durban.
cold, yeah, it's colder than Devon, definitely.
Oh, yes,
because we're
it's
still
very
6
much
weeks
colder.
out. You don't want to get sick with 10 days to go.
let us make
yeah,
something.
or 2 days to
What
go.
do you think, Lou?
But if you got sick now, Actually, it forces you to have a rest.
A bit of a rest.
Chankraman need.
Is Mr.
When thought
Gareth is like going. I'm gonna send him this link. If he wants to patch in.
Mr. Davis.
Get the M. Maar die M as
Let me quickly get some water.
Yeah, look, let's do without it, so it's fine. Guys, let's get on comms.
Don't you want a cup of coffee here, Willie?
No,
Are you
fine with
okay?
that. I'm
Okay
fine
with
with
the
that.
and then
cold drink?
get it D more and then come on right come. No, I get honali lady me ku kamo. Uso sha nguve kamo ke mabopani kamo. Ora lady eo. Mara just ke zamile jo.
Wait, I'm going to the loop. Sorry, it's going to the loop.
How look what transfer o tsa straight so ko right.
Yeah. Did you make coffee now?
Yeah.
Juice.
Ah, juice.
Maybe juice.
Yeah, we're all coming in.
Doing any running? Are you running anything or nothing?
I'm trying to think. Like it in
Coaching, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to camp there in the back from Friday for comrades.
Okay.
But we have done only, last week we did 52, 55 Ks long runs.
Long runs, yeah.
left red onion.
I'm thinking of doing, they can do 60 this week.
Yeah.
We've been out.
Where are they? Where are they? Where
Underberg.
Underberg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's cold there.
It's cold, yeah, it is, yeah.
Can someone bring me a coffee? Because I don't have, no, I don't have time.
Just coffee and milk or black?
A coffee and milk, but one of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're
Thanks.
talking about exactly the same place.
So how many long runs do you think we can do from now till comrades?
I can't remember the name of the place.
But 150, 160, you know, not 60, 60, 60, you know, like that.
Yeah.
I think I would do like a 60, then you take a break, then next week you only do a 30, then the following week another 30.
Another 60. Long runs, yeah.
There's only 3, 4, 5 of us.
Yeah, because some of them,
Yeah, no, that's how I remember.
they ran on the weekend in
Because the
Plainview.
sound
Yeah.
would come
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same place.
Okay, then point
Kuba thuntsha nang koteng. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
to your right.
Mara ko kae ko Menlyn.
Your sound man wanted it
That's
open, but
Alphen
okay.
Park.
No, that's fine. I'll close.
That's what I'm saying. I can't come to the Alphen Park. So mo kae.
There's somebody's been.
Well, not that one.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah?
Yeah, push it closer a bit.
Mara wood something. Mara wood something.
Let me help you this side, Sanan. Let me help you this side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Doc. Yeah.
Ne? No, the name that's ringing in my head is Shaguma. I don't know why. I'm from the trend. Shaguma. Yeah, no, I don't know why. That's the. And it's like when I go to
That's my name. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm going on comms, everybody.
Wait, aren't we starting? Let me go inside.
They're Bruce's.
Have you got a drink? Oh, yes.
Yes, I do.
Good.
Thank you, you're a star.
Can we fly those two cups?
Gotcha. So she's not doing any coffee for this.
zakho zininzi.
My nose keeps feeling runny from the cold.
It is cold in here.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah.
It's morning.
And it's a nice sunny day outside. I need these.
In the sun, it's cold.
In the sun, it's nice.
I was like, where's our host?
Because you guys are all still doing makeup.
Okay, you've got your
Yeah.
I know it's fine.
happy.
We're safe now. We can go. Yeah. Okay, Archie. One is leaving the wood. Okay. I'm locking the door. No one will come in. I'm locking. Oh, are you coming back inside? Okay, I just want to ask if they're coming back inside.
Right, the phone's off.
Oh, yeah.
By the end, you know that by the time you leave here, you'll be running this year's conference.
I believe I'm not getting away with it.
It's like there's so much pressure.
Oh, no,
You
Bruce,
put
this
in
has
more
been my
pressure,
life.
eh?
You know, I've been in Hillcrest for the last 3 weeks. It's been my life every day now for the last 3 weeks.
What?
Everyone's
People
asking
telling you
you.
to run?
Yes. Then I say, probably not. Then they just make as if they don't hear me.
I haven't heard anything. Probably I heard. I heard probably.
Everyone goes, I heard you, but.
Yes. But anyway, how's the training?
yeah, but how's the training?
Yeah, it's literally like
no,
that.
No, but so when you're doing your long run?
Yes. So good.
Hey.
Actually, we got 3 people sitting at this
breaking just a
table who
little bit.
finished second in Comrades. At this
Wow. Yeah, correct.
we all finished
A lot
second.
of silvers.
Record,
That's
Yeah,
cute.
so we
That's
could
very
all
clever.
discuss how horrible it is.
Oh, it's bad. How did you process that? Yeah.
And one person who's still got to run one.
I know.
Yeah. If you need
Oh, yeah,
advice
two.
now, it's your
Yeah,
time.
okay, yeah,
I
it's-
mean-
it's too late for you to enter this year's.
Yeah.
Actually, I could make a call.
No, no,
If you want, if you want to run, I can make a call.
Come on, I
I'll
know.
squeeze you in.
One call, you're in.
No, they owe me odd favours, so I can. I mean, if I can get you in. Don't know about A batch, but I'll get you in.
I don't know about the name on the bib, but
Please speak for me.
We can get you in.
You know, within the first 500 meters, I'm out.
Oh, okay. I don't think I'll get better advice from 3 legends sitting next to me here.
No, remember which I was shooting there. I think you were fast. Which
So I'm tidying up this place.
So where are you living now, Willie? At Underberg?
most of the time, Marisburg.
Oh, okay. Maritzburg.
But I go there once a week. Underberg.
Okay.
Is your farm in Underberg?
It's in Underberg, yes.
But they keep stealing his goats.
they're stealing it.
Yeah, he has to sort them out.
Hey,
You must sort them out, Willie.
they make me worried.
Which line?
Have you run any race this year?
Me? I've got no knee left. I'm going to do Skakuza half marathon, but only to be in the Kruger Park.
Oh, yeah. It comes with the
No,
Kruger.
I go every year, so
Yeah, that's
they give me an embarrassing, they give me number 1.
So you have to.
And then, yeah, but then they give me like, they get a couple of nights accommodation for the family and that, so.
That's so nice.
Yeah, and Skakuza's like a vibe. I mean, you just run it.
Yeah.
19 Ks, they got the the Castle Lager table, which
So
has
what's
got
not in it?
cokes
Actually-
and drinks and whatever, but it's got beers, and like all the guys, you got to have one.
So
Ice cold.
It's
at
worth
90.
it even without a knee.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Commonwealth Games?
So I thought maybe I'll do it this year, but then I just sort of decided it's too early.
Yeah. Because there's a real, but there, if you were in your normal shape, there's a real prospect of a medal there.
Yeah, I can. That was
Maybe
why I
world,
thought.
world champs is like unbelievably tough, but
Yes,
Commonwealth you could.
It's tough, and especially this year, I think Commonwealth game would have been a better decision anyway because it's nice. It's in Birmingham.
And it's fun.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's
you
easy
know,
to
the
get
world
to.
champs is like so
Listening?
serious. Commonwealth
Repeat
Games,
again, please.
a little
Yeah.
bit more like a rock and roll party.
I would like to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was this year, I would rather have chosen Commonwealth than World Champs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know Wade van Niekerk's doing Commonwealth.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't qualify in time for world champs anyway, I think.
Oh, okay. So he
And
anyway
London Marathon?
So I did the COVID version.
Yeah, I know that, but
Yeah.
now this one's October.
Yeah, this is October, and next year it's back to the
Yeah, I
normal
know.
time. So
Oh.
no, I have another one in the line.
Why do we have the other one in mind?
I have one in the end of the year. Yeah. So
But you'll have tired legs from Comrades. So.
it will be an issue, bro.
There we go again.
A little hiccup.
I wonder how much
Pushing, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yes.
not-
Who's
but
paying you, Bruce?
Not so tired because it's a down run.
You know, I've already paid for my entry. You're not going to get any more.
You've got your entry, I know. Yeah.
Are we getting some reaction shots, guys?
I will have finished my coffee before we started.
So, yeah.
I need to put it down.
Boy, 2 hours and you've got to go.
Yeah. Why is it colder now?
No.
Yeah, it's cold here, yeah?
This morning was
Jelly.
It is. But not like Marispec.
You not?
Like Marispec. Marispec is so cold. here.
It's so
it?
cold there.
Yeah, it's
It's
freezing.
freezing.
It's
Can I
freezing.
quickly have your attention, please? When you're speaking, try not to hit your mics during the segment.
Passionate.
Okay.
You get
When
passionate.
you're speaking, so try not to hit your chest too much.
No gorilla moves.
How do you get rid of a whole lot of Comrades runners when they're irritating you?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gone.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with it like this. It was. Okay, stand by for slate.
You like it like that? Okay, cool.
Cameras rolling.
Okay, morning. Cameras. Speeding.
Sound.
Sound. Okay. Shot 2, take 1.
Stand by for countdown.
Gerda and Bruce, can we please ask for a favor?
Yeah.
Do you mind switching?
Okay.
Only because you were sitting
I was
on
here
my
last time,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But then they're not going to see like the blonde bits in my head.
No, Bruce, can we make it the other way? We'll flip it around, huh?
And now with my flu, I'm going to spoil this run for the novice.
Oh, Bruce.
Okay, so let's go in 5,
Yeah. Get rid of the.
I'm getting off the set quickly.
3, 2, 1.
Well, a generation that ignores history has no past or future. And when you look at the centenary celebration of the Comrades Marathon, it's only right that the panel that we have today elaborates and embodies that in its whole entirety. On my right, the smiling assassin, Gerda Steen, record breaker.
Sorry.
Something happened in the lights. Something happened.
Load shedding.
Yes, probably.
You had the link so well.
Maybe we must start with Bruce. Because bring a low shading.
The last time I started with Bruce, and I'm deciding ladies first.
Ah, brilliant.
It's the same story. You've got questions you're going to ask us.
No trick questions, eh?
No, this time I'm going with the questions.
Everything was on. Let's go. Everything was on. Let's just go. That's something.
Okay.
Okay, let's go, guys.
Yes. So, also, go straight into it, ne? Sorry? Okay, super. So get straight into it. No hellos, goodbyes. No shots. Celebrating a centenary of the ultimate human race. And we look at the past and the future, noting that today's panel definitely embodies that. To my right, the smiling assassin, Gerda Steen, record breaker in her own right. Gerda, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Bob William Tolo, you've gone around the world, you've done the Comrades. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
112 caps for the national team in hockey, looking to earn your first berth when it comes to the Comrades Marathon. Sanani.
Yeah, look, I know the hockey part, but the running part I still need to get into, yeah.
I know that Bruce has already convinced you that this year you are definitely going to be one of the best novice runners when it comes to the Comrades.
Look, he gave me a book the other day and he said, your first one, a novice is the best. It's your first run, you enjoy it the most. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. The training has started. Well, it has to have started by now. So looking forward to it, yeah.
Bruce, what kind of advice would you give to a novice like Sanani, and perhaps myself would like to participate in the Comrades?
Well, after your first Comrades, wave goodbye to your hockey. Advice is to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So if I have one regret from my first Comrades, I was a little bit too intense, a little bit too serious. And I remember racing flat out to try and not be 44th instead of being 43rd. And when I look back, I wish I had just taken a little bit more time to savor it, to enjoy the experience, because you will come back and you will get faster. Each of us here is proof of that. You improve when you come back. So yeah, just enjoy the adventure. Enjoy the adventure now. I mean, you're in the adventure now. Cheryl Wynn and bloody was in cut. They just got one bomb past us on the way out because they're a bit miffed that they weren't included in the second part.
Only one guy gets the honor.
No, we both.
So maybe Bruce, you phone them, hey, just come and pass now to step us. Because why they come on time?
No, they're at that point in the flight. Chicken or beef? Chicken or beef?
Why can't they be delayed like the other flights?
So when you fly with Duncan, you get put in first class?
If there's space.
Right?
If there's availability.
Yeah, otherwise business.
Yes, or economy.
Have you ever been in economy he's flying?
Yeah, no, not when he was flying.
Yeah,
but
because he's the captain of the plane.
But when we've been in economy together, actually recently it was the only ones available, so we have to, then you just take the
Sit in
seat.
economy.
Yes.
And does he criticize the other captain? What a terrible...
It's like, oh, why does he have to say that? Why does he not put the seatbelt lights off?
Yeah.
Why does he do? He didn't have to say that.
Does he
He's
get-
so criticizing. It's hilarious.
Did you see that
It's
takeoff? It was
hilarious.
oh, he must criticize the landings.
Yeah,
Did he
so
criticize-
much, so much. It's hilarious. So, and then when he does something, it was this excuse.
It was this excuse.
He's going to pick up from when he was saying he was fighting before he did.
He was?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So I talk first. Yeah. Huh? So yes, just, I spent my time fighting between 43rd and 44th place. What difference does it make? And I maybe didn't spend enough time enjoying that first experience. It's a great adventure. You're in the middle of the adventure now. The training for it is part of it.
Fun
And then, the race itself is the cherry on top. It's an incredible day, and just enjoy as much of it as you can, absorb as much of it as you can.
And getting into the conversation about the past and the future, starting from the 90s, we started seeing this international invasion, runners coming through to join the Comrades. Bruce, do you think it was the prize money? And of course, South Africa at that time had just gotten back into the international fray. But what do you think is the cause of the internationals really coming to dominate and participate in Comrades?
Yeah, well, of course, if you're talking to the 1990s, I was already ancient history by then. But yes, I think so. It was that we accepted back in world athletics. Comrades is now more in the international eye than before. Yes, prize money, though, that is a bitter subject for those of us who were winning in the 1980s. Nothing. But, I'm not upset. But I think the combination of those things and the race becoming more and more prominent. But you have to remember, though, that in the past, as far back as the 1960s, there were overseas winners. John Smith, John Smith and a couple of the guys back then who were winning, who did really, really well. Kevin Woodward came second to Alan Robb, and so they were overseas. Mick Orton, who came, Bernard Gomersall won in 1965 from Leeds. So they were runners, but they were just one or two, and not the ordinary runners. I hate using the word ordinary runners, but not the ordinary runners. But now it's everybody's coming. I've just returned from the UK where I gave a Comrades marathon. Super excited, can't wait to get here.
And on that note, Babu, I want to also find out from you what attracted, because you mentioned that you don't